Okay, hear me out. Cars 2 is not a bad movie. It's absolutely fire. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, this movie's for infants. The storyline of this movie sucks. Mater sucks. Why haven't you uploaded it in 9 months? Now, I have an answer for all of these questions except for that last one. Listen. We don't talk about that, okay? But now moving on to my point. Cars 2 is a top tier movie. Okay, sure, there might be some issues with the actual storyline itself. And sure, it might seem a little bit immature. But just think about this for a second. There is a James Bond movie in the Pixar franchise, and we're all saying it sucks. Now, just think about that for a second. How could you, I mean, it's a James Bond movie, bro. It's so entertaining. Sure, I understand that some people may say that it doesn't have the same kind of quality as the first couple movies, but it's entertaining. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys why it being entertaining is so much more important than the other garbage stuff, especially for the fact that it is a children's movie and it is meant for the enjoyment of the child. Now, obviously, this might come off as stupid, immature, and sure, it might be, okay, man, I'm sorry. I just like this movie a lot, alright? But before anything, I think I should start off by just talking about how my philosophies may affect my viewing of this movie. Now, my first take is that I believe that at times the actual vibe of a movie may be better than the actual plot of it and the actual acting. Like, let me give you an example here. We all know The Batman. It came out around, I don't know, a year ago now. Actually closer to 2, but it was a pretty fire movie. But I'm gonna be real with you. It was not that good acting wise. The storyline was not that amazing. But the sheer vibe of it, that vibe of the nighttime Gotham, the vibe of that whole entire city, about the whole entire storyline of the movie, it's so beautiful. And honestly, if that vibe was not there and it was just that kind of storyline and it was in a different movie, I would have hated that movie. It would have sucked, especially because it was 3 hours long. Like, you want me to sit through 3 hours of just nothingness without there being any kind of cool vibe? Absolutely not. But the cinematography of that movie, those fight scenes, that beautiful aesthetic, it's so nice. And that is the only reason that I like that movie. I'm going to be real with you. I never really enjoyed the storyline, especially Catwoman, or whatever her name was, bro. She kind of pissed me off. Another thing that pissed me off in that movie was overall just that whole entire, just Bruce in general. I thought he kind of acted, stupid. He didn't really, I don't know. I didn't think that was the Bruce Wayne I was looking for in a Batman movie. But that's fine. That's not why this video is being made. The reason why I'm bringing up this point, though, in this video is to show you the fact that movies can be fire without there being amazing acting, without there being this incredible plot, without there being this incredible writing, but just for the sheer point of it being a vibe. Now, if we take this ideology and we plug it back into this incredible movie, which is Cars 2, we get this this product of pure insanity. Like, everything is happening at once, I love Cars 2 because I felt like I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Now, obviously, some of these characters were really stupid, Finn, he had the potential of being the most, cool character of all time, but they made him do such stupid decisions. Like, how could you not realize that Mater was not the American spy? But still, I didn't pay attention to that when I was watching the movie. I just watched it for what it was. And people always take the movie for more than what it is. Cars 2, for what it is a James Bond movie that they put into a kid's car series about talking cars. Okay? Just think about that. That sounds insane. It sounds like the person who made that was on crack. So you have to watch it in a way that you're not thinking about how, you're not critiquing everything that it is, You just think of it as what it is. And what it is is a really entertaining spy movie where all of the characters are stupid and are talking cars. But I don't care about that, because when I watch this movie, I think about the vibe. That opening sequence, a car dies firstly in that first part. Then Finn McMissile's on a boat. He somehow gets onto an oil area where all of the bad guys are. He takes a picture of a gun that is meant to use to assassinate cars. That's just insane. And then he blows up half of the people while driving down in a spiral. It's so crazy. Like, there's no way you can tell me that you were not entertained watching that. Did you see that the time where he blew up those gas canisters and it went in a circle down the circle? Alright, my bad. I need to maintain my composure. But still, that opening sequence, I think it describes Cars 2 perfectly. It's not this incredibly critically acclaimed movie, you know. It's not considered good. It doesn't have a very good storyline. The characters aren't very deep. They're very two-dimensional. But I don't care, okay? Because this movie somehow has this shock factor that no other kid movie has given me, other than maybe like The Incredibles. And obviously this is not as good as a movie as The Incredibles. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say people that say that this movie is horrible and that it's Pixar's worst movie are crazy. And they're clearly not appreciating it for what it is. Now, this brings me to my last point. It's just overall appreciating stuff for what it is in all movies. Now, I understand critics are going to critique stuff, and that's going to be their stuff. You know, that they're going to critique these horrible movies that aren't meant to be critiqued, like things like comedy movies. They're all going to have like a 42% on Rotten Tomatoes or something because they're not good movies, but they might be the most funny thing you've ever seen. Now, obviously sometimes the critics are right when it comes to movies being bad, and they are critiquing it for the right reason. Like, I just watched Black Adam, and I cannot make the same point about that. That was just not a good movie. It didn't have good acting. It was really boring. Overall, it tried to be funny, but just wasn't. And that I understand that was a bad movie. It didn't even have a good vibe. Honestly, that movie had so much potential, having this anti-hero that, like, he kills people, but that's his ideology, you know? And that's never going to change about him. It kind of shows this anti-hero-esque thing about this superhero. And I think that could have been so good, but they screwed it up. They just screwed it up. Now, in Cars 2, I never really felt like they screwed up anything. You know, it was different to have Mater as the main character, and I understand that could piss some people off because some people didn't like Mater, but I found Mater totally tolerable. I don't know about you guys. I really enjoyed his presence. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't really care for it. Like, I could have had McQueen there instead. It would have been the same exact experience for me. And sure, the storyline may seem a little bit immature, but you cannot tell me that twist villain at the end was not kind of fire. Like, I did not see it coming till that very last moment, you know? That was not something I was thinking in my head when I was watching this movie. Like, that honestly took me by surprise. Like, I really could not have predicted that. I don't know if that's just because I'm an idiot, or if that was actually a decent twist. But in my opinion, I thought it was pretty decent. Now, I just want to say in general, people are entitled to their own opinions, you know? They can say what they want. But I feel if people really took their time and just didn't take their time with this movie, you know, they just sat there and watched it for what it is. They didn't critique everything. They didn't keep staring at everything. They just watched it. They saw that vibe of that Bond movie-esque stuff. They saw that incredible twist at the end. They saw those honestly, the race scenes in this movie are top tier. They're really nice. And I think the whole entire World Cup thing that they were going for, the World Championship, that was fire. Like, I don't know, man. I thought that was crazy. So, I'm just gonna say it. Cars 2 is pretty fire. That's just my opinion. And these are the reasons why I think that it's not that deep of a video. I'm not going into the details of every single area, because that's not what I feel like with making this video. I just want to talk about something that I care about, and that's Cars 2, because I think it's fire, and I've watched it way too many times since I was a child. I still own the Blu-ray disc that I have in my basement. It's kind of crazy, but I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not really trying to convince you guys. I'm just trying to show you why I think it's a good movie. And, you know, you guys are entitled to whatever you want to think. I'm entitled to whatever I want to think. And I don't know. I think this is a pretty good movie. But that's all I have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time, whatever that is. Don't trust my upload schedule.